get to yapping. Hi friends, how you doing today? If you're new here, hi. My name is Splish Between the Covers, and I yap about small books, and I do my makeup at the same time. So if you like a bit of makeup, you like a bit of books, you like a bit of yapping, hi, hey, I'm the girly for you. If you don't like makeup though, that's okay. If you don't like books, that's okay. The only thing you're really required to like is yapping. But if you actively hate makeup and you actively hate books, first, click off the video. Second, go sort that out. I don't have to be the girly for you, and that's okay. If you're returning, hey bestie, hey! Thanks so much for coming back and hanging out with me today. We're going to be talking about Shantel Tessier's The Sinner. Um, this was a book I did not think that I was going to finish. There are some pretty heavy trigger warnings in this one. Um, to the point where, like, I was kind of disgusted at one point reading this, and I was like, I, I don't know. Like I said, I really thought that this was going to be one that I was not going to finish because it disgusted me to a point where I was like, nope. But I did finish it. I did see it through, and I'm kind of glad that I did. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll get into that. Um, but yeah, just a fair warning. For those of you that have not read it, there are some pretty heavy trigger warnings. There's a lot of pedophilia and grape. So not the biggest fan. Clearly, obviously, nobody should be. Let me put that out there. But yes, I'm going to clip my hair out of my face, get everything out in front of me, and we will jump right in. Okay, I'll catch you on the flip. Alrighty, got everything out in front of me, and I'm ready to go. So, in the center, we've got two main points of view. We have our male main character, Easton Bradley Sinnott, aka Sin, and then we also have our female perspective, Ellington Asher. So, Sin is part of the Lords, and I can't remember what year Sin was given this assignment. I think it was his sophomore year, maybe sophomore or junior. Don't remember. I know that it wasn't senior year, or at least I'm pretty positive it wasn't senior year. But Sin was given an assignment to take out a fellow lord that has broken the lord code, or basically stepped out of line. So Sin gets assigned this target, we'll say, for lack of a better way to put it. Um, and the lord that he has to take out is none other than Ellington's stepdad. Um, and Easton has to take this lord out during this big old party that's going on at the house or whatever. And he gets there. He takes out the target. No problem. He said, "Freaking James, you're dead, my guy." And that was the end of it. However, Ellington comes up and she finds her stepdad dead, and Easton's there, mask on. Though, don't worry, he's not foolish enough to get caught without being masked up. Um, but Easton is there, you know. Actually, he's kind of like hiding behind the door type situation, but he comes out and he like covers your mouth and he's like, "Shh, don't make a fuss." But then Easton goes and he like diddles her a little bit, and she's like, "Wow, spicy. I like it." She didn't even like her stepdad, and the reason that she didn't even like him is because he was grooming her. I was trying to figure out like a different way to put it, but there isn't a different way to put it. James was freaking grooming her, and had been taking advantage of her for a really long time, and took her V card when she was, I think, like 16, like not even 18 years old, like a quote unquote adult, like legal adult, able to make decisions. But if you are many years younger, then I don't want to say just a man, but like in this case, a man, you're not able to make, you know, the same decisions because the mind of a 40-year-old plus man is way different than a 16-year-old girl, 18-year-old girl, whatever. I'm pretty sure she was 16, not 18. Even if she was 17, doesn't really matter. Does not matter. Um, way, 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 way different. Leagues different. Even if it was, a boy and the woman was older. The minds don't function the same. The thoughts, they're not. Anyway, that aside, he was grooming Ellington, and then it grew to be something more the older that she got. Um, but obviously, Ellington knew that this was wrong. Um, and yeah, plus two, that's her stepdad. So gross. Um, but anyway, I digress. Um, so Sin takes out Ellington's stepdad, whatever, has to take her stepdad's phone, and in doing so, he finds all of these explicit pictures of Ellington, plus, some non explicit ones, but they're mostly really disgusting pictures. And I don't want to say like a dumbass, but like for the sake of like proving that James was a bad guy, um, so like a dumbass, Sin freaking deletes all of these pictures, and I'm like, dude, I get it, but Sin has had a thing for Ellington for a really long time. Ellington is best friends with his sister. I think her name's Kira. That sounds right. But anyway, Ellington's best friends with Sin's sister. So, they've known each other for a really, really, really long time. Grew up together, essentially, that type of thing. Um, and freaking boy, he gets like peanut butter and jealous, and deletes these photos because he doesn't want the other lords seeing um Ellie in these pictures. And like, I get it. Plus, like I said too, she was a minor in a lot of these photos. So again, don't want anybody seeing a minor in these freaking provocative photos. So Sin goes and he deletes them, but whatever. But he recovers the phone and does what he has to do for the lords, and he's on his merry way. But Sin doesn't stop there. He continues to visit Ellie in his masked man form, self, whatever. Um, and he like builds this relationship with her through being the masked man, and they are sexually involved, for again lack of a better way to put it, um, for years, while Sin is in the Lord's abstaining from um, you know penetrative sex. um, but Sin goes and he visits her, and he takes care of her in other ways. um, but Ellington is like, dude, why won't the masked man screw me? What the frick? But obviously she doesn't know that it's Sin, and she doesn't know that it's a lord, and you know he can't. But Ellington's ready to bone Sin without knowing that it's Sin. Whatever. And I should also mention too that Ellington really really likes Sin. Um, again, her being Sin's sister's best friend, it she's been around him for a long time, and she thinks that he is hot and wants to get into his pants, but he hasn't been the nicest to her when he is outside of his masked man self. Whatever, he can't give away that he's got a thing for her. God forbid a man freaking is forward with his feelings, you know? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Why would? Um but Ellington has a thing for Sin, whatever. And they have this little rendezvous that goes on for a long time. But now Sin is in his senior year and he keeps, like I said, visiting Ellington. But he's getting ready to kind of cut off this little game that they got going on between, the masked man and herself. Because now Sin's kind of ready to come forward and be like, hey, haha, I'm your masked man. We've been fooling around for years. um, like that type of thing. Um, but he finds out now that Ellie's been getting involved with somebody else, and so he gets a little jelly. But again, Ellie wants Sin's pee pee. She wants the masked man's pee pee, and he's not giving it to her. So where the hell else is she gonna get it from? Somebody else. Uh, so Ellington starts this relationship with none other than our professor. Girl, yippee! But at this point, she's a consenting adult and can then do whatever she wants. But again, big, big age difference. Don't really recommend, but at least you're an adult now, so pop off queen, I guess. You get them good grades. Sorry, should not be saying shit like that. But anyway, I digress. Um, Sin then goes to the professor's house, and the professor's got Ellington tied up in his basement, in a consensual way. I'm pretty sure. um, and so Sin goes and he diddles her in the professor's basement, and then kind of dips. He takes her, I think, out of the basement and brings her back to her own house. But whatever. And then he leaves, but he removes her from the professor's house, and he dips. He does what he wants and he dips. And I'm pretty sure then he freaks it with her, but she's not aware that it's him because she's kind of like lucid, I think, at this point. But yeah. Now, too, I would like to mention that they're clearly, obviously, both students at Barrington University. That is, of course, the Lord's College. So Sin is able to pop into the classes that Ellington has, and he decides one day to pop into her class. I can't remember what the exact title of the class is, but it's essentially a class where you get real comfortable talking about sex and embracing it and writing creative stories based around the likes of that. It's gonna bother me that I can't remember what it was called, but it's kind of neither here nor there. But Sin pops in one day, and he's there when Ellington is reading her story, and he takes notes. He takes some mental notes, uh, and then he's just kind of a dick about it, and then he leaves. Um, and the professor of that class is the one that she's boinking, And um, so, again, mental note, keep this all in mind. Sin gets involved and essentially tells that professor, "You're done. You're done. You're not gonna freaking touch Ellington. You're not gonna talk to her. You're actually going to remove her from her class." And um, the professor's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't want any problems, man. You got it. Whatever you want." So the professor removes Ellington from his class, and the next day, Ellie goes to class, and she's like, "Dude, what? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm removed from your class? What the fudge is this?" And the professor freaking backhands her. He smacks her like a bitch ass hoe. And um she's confused and he's like, "We no. We're done. We're done. You can't even be near me, actually." Cause Sin's ready to freaking castrate the professor, which, rightfully so. It's fine, I get it. Um and the professor's kind of a dick anyway. Um for lots of reasons, but mostly you're screwing your student, dude. I get it. She's hot, but like whatever. 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 Uh and I can't remember the exact chain of events that happens. But there's this little Halloween carnival festivity type thing that is going on, and Ellie decides to go with Kira, and they get freaking split up, and Sin is there with his friends, and they're in masks, and they isolate um, Ellie. Jesus, I was like, what is her name? They isolate Ellie, and they have her like all bound up, and they're not having their way with her, but they're messing with her. So much so that Sin ends up piercing her nippy knops. Uh, and she kind of has no idea. She just knows that there's pain because she's blindfolded. And then, yeah, she gets home and she's like, "What the fuck is this? What are these?" And Sin has to essentially be like, "Yeah, I did that. That's me. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it." Um, this is just this is a wild, wild time, wild story. Um, but oh, I forgot to say too. So when we're talking about the ritual, the lords have what they call a chosen, and it's one woman, one girl, whatever, that they're allowed to freak. That's it's their reward for abstaining for years. And Sin gets assigned a chosen, and he's not about it. He ain't about her at all. It's actually the girl that he's supposed to marry. Um, outside of having a chosen, whatever. I can't think of her name because she's so unimportant to me that I'm like, who cares? Um, but it's the girl that he's supposed to end up marrying, but he really doesn't want to. He's like, I didn't sign up for really any of this other than being a lord, but I don't want to marry this freaking girl that you want me to. And no, I want Ellington, but Ellington is not up to be chosen as a chosen because the parents essentially have to sign off on their daughter being a chosen, kind of like a freaking permission slip. Like, yes, you you can have your way with my daughter. Yes, I'm giving you consent to take my child and have your way with her as many times as you want and share her with your friends if you feel like. Like, what? What? Anyway, again, neither here nor there. Um, but Sin really just wants Ellington, and that's it. That's period, point blank. Just wants Ellington, nothing more, nothing less. And he does not give a crap that he has a chosen. He doesn't want to engage in any activities with her. Um, he's just that's it. That's all. Um, he just wants Ellington. So Sin freaking ingrains himself further into Ellington's life, other than being her best friend's brother. Um, yes, I was like, did I just say that right? He inserts himself into Ellie's life in such a way where he's convinced a lot of people that he is Ellington's boyfriend, including, but not limiting to, her mom. And oh, also juicy little morsel. Um, Freaking. So, like I said, in the beginning, Sin is tasked to take out um Ellie's stepdad. Jesus Christ. I was going to say brother-in-law, and I was like, that's not the right word. He's tasked to take out her stepdad. So now, obviously, clearly, her mom is a lady of the lords. So ladies, if their husbands die, they get gifted to another lord. So Ellington's mom is gifted to Lincoln, the like I don't really know what to call him. Like a chaperone, really, I guess. Um, to the lords at Barrington University. He's the one that is pretty much there for like their initiations and gives them their assignments kind of going forward. And Lincoln sits down with Sin and he tells Sin that he needs to freaking take his chosen, um, or else, whatever, bad news bears is gonna happen. And Sin's like, whatever you gotta say, man. But Link, he's like, well, I know that you've got this thing for Ellie, but I'll have you know that uh, if you continue your nonsense, she's not gonna be safe. Because I will have her. And Sin's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Lincoln then freaking comes forward and he's like, yeah, um, Mrs. Asher is now my wife. So frick you, Sin. I'm going to have Ellington. I'm going to make her my little hoe. And you're just going to have to sit there and watch, buddy boy. And that freaking sets Sin off. Off. Especially because Lincoln is now married to Ellington's mom. Ellington has no freaking clue. So Sin goes rushing to the house to get Ellie. He's like, pack your bags, you're leaving. You're coming to live with me in the house of the lords. She's like, what are you talking about? And clearly she's like, no, absolutely not. I don't think so. Um, and um, Link tells um, Sin that they're going to tell Ellington that they're married during a like family dinner on Thursday night, whatever. Like day doesn't matter, but they're gonna have a sit down at dinner and reveal that they are now married. And Sin has this brilliant idea. He's like, well, I should be there too because I'm Ellington's boyfriend. And at this point, I would also like to point out that Ellington's mom is now in Lincoln's office. You know, she comes in and she's like, "Hi, honey," blah 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 blah. And when um when Sin says this that he's Ellington's boyfriend, Mrs. Asher, she's like, "What do you mean? Like she your girlfriend? You mean like, huh? Cuz she can't be your chosen." And Sin's like, "Yeah, girlfriend." And I'll be there during this dinner to support Ellington and to be there for her. And I think that this is pretty big news, pretty big deal. Um, so I'll be there to support her. And frickin' Mrs. Asher, Ellington's mom, she's like, well, I don't know how I feel about this. You've got a chosen. You're cheating on my daughter. And Sin's like, no, I assure you that I am not cheating on your daughter, and that is my girlfriend, and everything is cash money, so don't worry about it. But whatever. So they're I'll say convinced that Sin is Ellington's boyfriend, and it kind of continues to go down that way for a while. Sin just kind of forces this to become the truth. Uh, Again, this is partially why I was like, dude, I can't finish this book. This is just infuriating. I can't. I'm getting mad. Um, Whatever. Um, I'm tired of these lord dickheads getting everything that they want and whatever. But again, neither here nor there. But Sin ends up getting what he wants. Ellington ends up essentially becoming his girlfriend, and he's got her kind of trapped for, again, lack of a better way to put it. And um, she doesn't really mind, you know. Like I said, she's got a thing for Sin and has for a really long time. But he's a lord, and she knows that he has a chosen. And his chosen, wow, that is a really freaking nice yellow. Oh my god. Wow, nut. Quick shout out Divergoon Cosmetics, I love you. Um Sorry. Um but what was I saying? This yellow really derailed me. Oh, Ellington knows that Sin has a chosen, and this chosen is freaking bad news. She freaking plots real hard to get Ellington to leave Sin alone because the Chosen too knows that Sin freaking likes. Well, we'll say loves um, Ellington, and she ain't having it. She's like, no, no, no. This is my man. We're supposed to get married. I'm his chosen. Don't know what he sees in you. You're nothing but a useless little hoe. Um, so bye. And this transpires into this little encounter that um Ellington. I was like, Jesus, what the hell's her name? Ellington has in the bathroom of Blackout, I believe. I believe it was a party at Blackout. Um and freaking Sin is there with her, and I believe his sister. They go into the bathroom, and the Chosen is in there, and she shows Ellington this video of her in Sin's room at the House of the Lords, and she's getting undressed for him, and he pushes her onto the bed and he ties her up. And at this point, Ellington's seeing freaking red. She's like, nope, no, I don't need to see anything else. I'm pissed at Sin. You're a bitch. Get the hell out of my face. Whatever. Sin's cheating on me. Blah blah blah. But again, she's like, I don't want to say she like comes to terms with it, but she understands that he's a lord and this was kind of bound to happen, and she's pissed off that she ever believed that she would be enough for him, just herself, whatever. But she doesn't see the whole freaking video. She didn't see the whole freaking thing. She just gets pissed and she storms out, but she only sees half the freaking story because she continued to sit there and watch what she was freaking trying to show her. I mean, she knew that only that first bit was enough, but freaking the video continues, and it shows Sin then leaving the room, and this other guy comes in, and he like starts freaking um Sin's Chosen because he, I believe, wants her. They're supposed to kind of do a wife swap type type thing, because the guy in the video is going to be the one that um Ellington marries, or is, supposed to marry. But all of this goes down, and I would also like to go back in and mention that Sin ends up killing Ellie's like drug dealer because she's been a bit of a addict ever since her dad died, and her stepdad was grooming her and raping her and everything. And so she's had a little bit of a pill problem. And Sin takes out her dealer, but at this party, one of her dealer's friends is there, and he decides that he wants revenge on Sin, really, for um, killing his friend. So he's going to mess with Ellington. So at this point, too, Sin tells Ellington, like, no drugs. You're not, nope, you're done with that. And at that point, well, up to that point, Ellington is like, okay, yeah, sure. No drugs. No, nothing bad. And once she sees that video, again, it sets her off, man. And she goes and she is like, hey, um, let's get out of here. Let's do something. And the dealer's like, yeah, you know what? Actually, hold on. I've got this shit we're gonna get. It's gonna be bussin'. So the dealer brings her to this other kid in the club at the party, whatever. I don't remember where they're at, but it's not really, doesn't matter. Um and he goes up to the kid and he's like, "Hey man, can I get some of that?" I think it was supposed to be like Molly or whatever. And the kid's like, "Oh yeah, here." Um but it was something laced, I believe, with fentanyl, and the the dealer guy like knows this, whatever. And they slip it to Ellington, and she essentially ODs. But Sin is able to get her in enough time. Uh, because I think Gunner was there or something. He freaking like followed and whatever. Um, but she ODs and then she's pissed at Sin and then he's pissed at her, but then also he's ready to freaking kill the dealer kid friend whatever and call it a day. um because now he's pissed that they were trying to take revenge and kill her for something that she didn't do. She didn't ask for. It was Sin. Um, but Sin ends up taking care of that. And I'm trying to think. Um, I don't know. Oh, well, then freaking Ellington's coming down because now she's gotta like detox and go through withdrawal and everything from not having these freaking drugs. And at this point, I believe Sin brings her to like their house because Sin takes Ellington out of her family home and brings her to their house, his house, whatever. I'm kind of confused about the whole who the hell the house belongs to because once they're there, um Ellington's mom and Lincoln come to the house and first she's freaking out. She's like, "How the hell did you get in here?" And they're like, "We have a key." And she's like, "What the frick do you mean you have a key? This is mine and Sin's house." And they're like, "No, that like this is your house. We got this house for you." And she's like, "What? No, Sin said that this was his house. This is our house." And they're like, "No, silly. We got this house for you. Like our names are on the freaking like title whatever." And they show her and like yeah, their names are on it. Sin's name is also on it. So I don't know. I'm mad confused. But whatever. Um and so then she's pissed off at Sin again cuz she's like, "Dude, what the frick? Like you said that this was our house." But while they're signing the all the papers for the house, um Sin has this lawyer guy, attorney, whatever, come in and has her sign all these papers. And I guess he slipped well, not I guess, I know he slipped in the marriage certificate in this stack of papers. So now Ellington is married to Sin and she has no freaking idea. And this comes in later, okay? Just keep this in mind. Um well, I mean, a huge spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. Uh, but um he slips in a freaking marriage certificate and nobody knows actually, quite frankly, other than him and the attorney, I'm pretty sure. Um but whatever. um and why did I say that? Why did I Oh, well, that's just, they were signing the papers whatever. But Ellington's like, "No, what?" But Sin comes home and he's like, "No, like this is our house. What?" Um but now Ellington's convinced otherwise because her mom and Lincoln came and they're like, "No, we bought this house for you." There's a lot of variables that are happening here. Um, but I'm going to do my eyebrows and do a little liner off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't go overly ham sandwich finishing stuff because it's got a lot of ground to cover here, okay? so, yeah. Ellington's now pissed off at Sin. Whatever. And then as the family is there, whatever, telling Ellington that they bought her that house, uh, the announcement of Sin's engagement to his chosen comes out. I can't freaking remember her name, but like I said, it's not that important. She's a minor character in the grand scheme of things. Um, the engagement though comes out, and Lincoln and um Ellie's mom are, dickheads about it. They're like, "Well, what did you expect? Like, why are you gonna be upset about this? You shouldn't be upset about this. You should have known. You should have known that this is what was going to happen. You are just nothing more than a hoe. Um, what did you expect?" And Ellie then is big upsetty spaghetti, and they're like, "Well, don't be too upset because we've got a husband for you." And Ellie's like, "What? No, no." And they tell her that she's going to marry Lincoln's nephew, and Link is real big gross, and he's like, "Well, on the night of your marriage, I'm gonna have first dibs, and I'm gonna be the one that screws you first." And Ellington is big freaking like, no, over my dead body. Like, I'll run away. I'll run away before this happens. And Ellie then goes to Sin, and she's like, "What the fudge, dude?" And he's like, "Well, what did you expect? I never loved you. What did you think? This was just a game? You're just gonna be my little side piece and whatever." And this is the point where I was like, "No fucking way. Like, are you shitting me, man? Like, what the fudge? He goes through all this trouble and just to be a dick like that, just to throw her to the side." I'm sitting there and I'm getting big mad. And like again, getting so disgusted and disappointed. I'm like, this poor girl has been through so freaking much, and this is it. This is it. Um, but I just had to sit. I just had to sit and freaking keep reading. Had to keep going because it all changes. It all goes differently from there. So it's fine. Everything's fine. Um, but turns out Sin has a little like arrangement deal, whatever, with um Lincoln's nephew, the guy that um Ellie is supposed to marry, publicly. I'll say because she's already freaking married to Sin. Um, and they're like I said, they were gonna do a little wife swap type thing, but that all kind of goes to shit. And that's because Sin has been kind of running around doing his own little shady kind of business. And it's not actually shady. But he's been doing a little investigative work, if you will. Because Ellie's dad would, well, he himself, and she was the one that found the body when she was younger, and it it scarred her, but turns out he's not actually dead. What? Now she's like, no, no, no. Like when Sin collects Ellington's father, and he's very much alive, she's like, but you're dead. Like, your body and my body hit the ground because I was holding on to you like you were dead. You were big dead. What? Um, Turns out Ellie's dad had an identical twin brother, and he was actually murdered, and it was set up to look like a um an unaliving of himself. And there were only, I think he said two people that knew that he had a twin brother. So wild, crazy. Um and Sin found out about Ellie's dad through a tip that Riot, bless our boy Riot, um, gave him. And Ellie's dad was at this place called Carnage. And that is a place where, like, lords go and they never come back. It's like a working prison torture chamber type thing. Um, it's wild, wild freaking carnage. Like I can't wait to get to the book titled Carnage because I'm really hoping that that's what this what that story's about. Because I need to know more. I need I need to know. But these guys called the Spade Brothers, they run Carnage, and they give over Ellington's dad in exchange for something else. Um, there's a price to pay for them releasing Ellie's dad, and Sin um, has to deliver by, I don't know, the end of the week or whatever time. He's got to deliver something in exchange for Ellie's dad, like a life for a life type thing. So Sin freaking gives Ellie time to adjust and be around her dad, and he still has some other stuff to figure out and whatever. But now that Sin has Ellie's dad, he calls I can't remember his name. I think his name is Chase or something like that. But he calls Ellie's supposed, fiance, and he's like, "Call off the wedding. Um, Tell them that you can't be with a drunky hoe, and you are rethinking everything, and you don't want to marry her." And the dude is like, "Huh? What? That's not, you just had me move this wedding up, and now you're having me call it off in general? What?" And Sin's like, "Yep, that's what I said. Don't make me tell you twice." And so the dude calls off the wedding, and um, Ellington's mom and Lincoln find out about this, and they're like, What the frick is going on?" So then, um, bunch of like other crazy stuff happens. Sin goes and he talks to his dad, and he's like, how did you know about all of this, and why do you have all these pictures of Ellington like stashed away, whatever? Because Sin's dad is the one that ordered the hit on Ellie's stepdad, and he also, though, was involved in it. He also wanted a piece of the Ellie pie, and yeah, so it's a little crazy, a little gross. Um, but freaking he he finds out about that. So his dad too. Oh, because sorry, the the pieces of the puzzle are coming together in my mind now. Sin's dad was also like best friends with uh Ellie's dad, and it was supposed to be Sin and Ellie getting married because Sin then was supposed to take over Ash Corp or whatever the hell his company was. And Sin, or not Sin, Sin's dad and freaking Ellie's mom, they were like, "No, you were never what? Like that's not no." Uh but once once the dad is back and he's very much alive, he's like, "Yeah, dude, like that was supposed to be what happened. Your dad was supposed to, you know, continue that even after I had passed away." So, what? Well, even after I passed away cuz he's alive. Um but Sin's dad was one of the only people that knew that he had a twin brother. I want to say his name is Nick, but again, another insignificant detail kind of. Um but his dad was one of the people that knew that he had a twin brother, and turns out that well, no, not her dad, his dad, Sin's dad had a hand in um Ellie's dad's murder. I'm throwing up a lot of quotes because it goes too freaking crazy. Um so uh they end up killing Lincoln, uh cuz why not? He's just a sorry son of a bitch anyway. Uh and disgusting creep. And then they also freaking end up kidnapping kinda Ellie's mom and Sin's dad, and whatchamacallit, Ellie's dad takes them and kinda holds them hostage for, again, lack of a better way to put it. I'm gonna have to find a different way to use that phrase. Um, like some synonyms for that phrase. But um remember again how I said a couple minutes ago that Sin had to deliver like a life for a life type thing to replace um Ellie's dad in Carnage? Well, he's going to sacrifice himself. No, you can't. Okay, anyway. Um there must be another way. Freaking Sin sends himself to Carnage. He's like, "Yep, I'm soul for soul." And he freaking goes to Carnage. He turns himself in. Fucking poor Ellie, man. Poor Ellie. Because now that, everything's all kind of said and done, the dust is settling. She's got Sin. They're married. They're happy. Whatever. He like kisses her goodnight. He's like, "I'll see you in the morning." And then he's not there. He's not there because he's turned himself in to Carnage. Because he thinks that she should have a dad instead of, him. Which, you know, I see the vision. I see where he was going. I get it. But she's then pissed. She's pissed. She's like, "What? What? Why can't I have both? Why can't I have my cake and eat it too?" Um so then once she finds out that he's in Carnage, she and her dad get Tyson. My boy Tyson. I fucking love him. Sorry, YouTube. Didn't mean to use that word so emphatically. But I love Tyson. I love Tyson. Tyson Crawford. Okay. I'm on his book now. Um and I love that man. I love him. I love him and everything he stands for, even though he's so morally gray. I love him. But anyway, they call Tyson, and Tyson's like, "Well, yeah, freaking dropped him off this morning at um Carnage, and I said, 'Are you sure you want to do this?'" And Sin very much so made up his mind. He was like, yeah, no, nah, not a freaking doubt in the world, my guy. This is what I'm doing. So they freaking take um Sin's dad and her mom, and they go and they're like, all right, so how about we do 2 for 1, and you give us Sin back. And at this point too, they've got Sin fucking chained up, and they've taken his lord's crest off of him. They skinned it off and then burned their carnage crest on him, which is just like 666, um right there. And yeah, man, they they were they they did wasted no time when Sin walked through that door and gave himself over. But they end up saving him and cutting him down, and the Spade brothers are like, yeah, it's cool, we'll take them, I guess, and you can have them back. And then months later, the Spade brothers call um Sin. I was like, what's his name? Um and he's like, I thought we were done. Like, I thought our business was done. And the one Spade brother on the phone was like, yeah, well, we were, but we got something that you might need to come here and weigh in on, and bring your wife. So turns out that Mommy Dearest, who was supposed to have had a freaking hysterectomy, is pregnant and freaking in carnage. So Ellington's like, yeah, well, keep her safe. We're taking that baby. And Sin's like, are you sure? You sure about that? And she's like, yeah, I will. I will raise my baby brother as my own son. And Sin's like, all right, yeah, cool. If that's what you want to do, I'm down, I guess. And yeah. So after that, they live happily ever after, and they have their own, I believe, daughter. After that, or maybe they have a son. I don't really remember. I know that there's the boy. I'm pretty sure they have a daughter too. Um, but yeah, yeah, that was freaking The Sinner, man. Justice was served in the fact that Lincoln's dead, the mom is in carnage, Easton's dad's in carnage, and they are taking it up the butt every day. But yeah, so that was an insane story. Um, Again, didn't think I was going to finish it, but I'm very, very, very glad that I did. Um, in the sense that it all kind of came together in the end, and it wasn't as horrible as, I don't know, I felt it was. Well, while reading it, I do feel really bad for Ellie's character. Um, she'd gone through so freaking much, so much that I feel like at the end of the book, it's just like you don't recognize her anymore. Like in the epilogue, it's like, who is this character, because she's just so broken, so broken. So you feel bad, or at least I did. I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but I freaking felt bad. I was like, damn, dog. Poor thing. Poor thing. Um, but yeah. Overall, I don't know what to rate this book, because it was really good, but it was really hard to read. with like all the trigger warnings. I think that if you can handle it, I recommend. I would maybe give it a solid, trigger warnings aside, probably an 8 out of 10, 7.5, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I probably would have given it a 9 if it didn't make me so uncomfortable to the point where I was ready to stop reading it. Um, and as always, read like in your comfort zone. If you are reading a book and it is like causing you to be like mentally unwell, or I don't know, just putting you in an unsafe headspace, you don't have to finish the book. You don't have to. Um it's okay. Um this book, it wasn't putting me in an unsafe headspace or anything like that, but it was making me wildly uncomfortable and angry, and you know um so that's that. Um but it was a good read overall. I'm very excited to finish The Offering, um, which is Tyson's book, because I love Tyson. So I'm excited to finish that and talk about it. I have slowed down significantly in reading so that I'm not so backlogged on books to sit here and yap about. Because the list was really long at one point, and I was getting a little overwhelmed. So now I'm pacing myself. Um, but yeah, sorry, that is random and rambling. So I'm sorry. But thank you so much for watching the video if you've gotten this far. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you disliked it, that's okay. You can dislike it. No hard feelings. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I would appreciate it. I put out videos. I try to put them out every week. Sometimes I'm sick and it happens to be like 2 weeks or like a month, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Uh, from here on out, though, it should be pretty consistently weekly, but we'll see. I know that there was a gap and I didn't upload last week, but um, yeah, yippee. Uh, I don't think I've got anything else to say. But yeah, I don't know. I will see you guys next week, and we'll talk about what the fuck. What are we talking about? Oh, we've got more Sarah Cate to talk about. We've got more Salacious Players Club to talk about. Next is Mercy? Yeah, yeah. Next is Mercy. Okay, so next week we'll be talking about Sarah Cate's Mercy, and we'll then I guess talk about The Offering. Because by then I should have finished that. And then we'll continue to back and forth it. All right. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you. As you're watching this, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.